There's actually about 6 reasons that you're having difficulty losing weight if you're a female. One thing I'm not going to mention is your age. Remember when you were younger, like in your 20s, and you still thought you were fat back then? A lot of women tell me, I wish I was as fat as I thought I was. So we're going to ignore age for right now, and I'm going to give you 6 reasons that you're probably having trouble losing weight. And if you check off the box and look at these things, you may be able to solve this little problem or big problem. Number 1, menopause. Now, if you're a guy watching this video, stop watching this video. You should have no interest in this. But if you're curious as to why your wife has gone crazy and in the middle of the night just poof, goes into flames like the phoenix and gets real moody with you, there's a reason. Because her estrogen is starting to go down, which then that contributes to less muscle mass and increased fat storage, which, you've probably noticed. But I would never say it. You could think it, but don't say it. Why does this occur? Estrogen has been shown through research to incorporate itself into the DNA of our body cells, and it's responsible for weight control, literally genetically. So in the absence of estrogen, all of a sudden, genetically, the woman is designed to become fatter. Also, when a woman stops producing estrogen, body in its infinite wisdom wants to use fatty acids to try to create more estrogen. And thus, innately, their body will start to hoard fat cells so that it has more fatty acids with which to try to attempt to catch up, of which it never does. Lastly, as a 1, 2, 3 punch knockout, estrogen also helps play a role in regulating glucose and lipid metabolism. So now that beautiful bride that you once married is now having trouble with their weight. Number 2, there is an increase of hormones called androgens, and this is linked to polycystic ovary syndrome. And when this happens, you gain weight. Number 3, type 2 diabetes. As we get older, there's a greater chance that your organs are starting to wear out, not just the ovaries, but your pancreas is starting to wear out, your liver is starting to wear out. If you abuse your pancreas over a period of time by eating crappy foods and a lot of processed, sugary types of foods, colas and all these things, sure, when you're 20, you still look hot and you could drink all those things. You almost look like an advertisement for Coke or Pepsi or Skittles or Snicker bars. But then you get to be 40, 50 years old, all of a sudden you're eating the same way thinking, I've never had type 2 diabetes. Well, guess what? Your pancreas gave up. It can't keep up with the food. Number 4, an underactive thyroid. Hypothyroidism lowers our basal metabolic rate, and thus now you could be eating the same amount of calories, the same macros, the same exact food, but now you're starting to have trouble losing weight because of this reason. Now, also when you're hypothyroid, you're starting to go a little bit crazy. You've got a lot of different other symptoms. Weight loss is probably the least of it. Number 5, stress. Oh, sure, I know, stress is an answer for everything, but there actually is a reason. It increases cortisol and it increases adrenaline. And all of these hormones increase your ability to maintain the fat and lose lean tissue, which is exactly why you look the way you do. The 6th and final reason why you're having trouble losing weight is because of medical conditions and medical treatments. We tend to accumulate little problems like arthritis or rheumatoid arthritis or lupus or any type of condition where you may be prescribed medication. The average 20-year-old doesn't have all these problems, and thus they probably haven't accumulated the amount of drugs that a 50-year-old has. For example, one of the most common things that orthopedic doctors will give you for a painful condition is corticosteroids. Did you know that corticosteroids are basically synthetic cortisol? And do you remember what I said about stress? It increases cortisol. Actually, you may not even realize this, but the medical treatment that you're getting for whatever medical condition that you have might be contributing to why you're having trouble losing weight. The most important thing about all these 6 types of reasons is And it's important that you understand this, that this is not your fault. If you have PCOS, that isn't your fault. Menopause is not a curse put upon you by God. Well, some people would say it is. So these are the 6 reasons, and some of them you can control and you can manage. Others you can totally eliminate. So one of the suggestions would be to go through this list and see which ones you could start chipping away at right now, and then try to see if you can alter your diet and do more exercise. Those are standard things that people recommend, but a lot of times people are not really doing them. And if you could just start easily, then you could do it without harming your joints and getting injured and things like that. So if you thought this video was interesting, thumbs up, subscribe. See you on the next video.